Good evening, everyone. I'm KHOU 11 News anchor Ron Trevino coming to you from the KHOU newsroom on your Sunday night. Just want to keep you up to date on some of the news of the day, and we hope that you tune in tonight at 10 o'clock for the very latest on all these stories. Of course, we're going to devote a lot of team coverage to the mass shooting that happened in West Texas yesterday, and the latest on that is that the death toll has now climbed to 7. 7 people were shot. As authorities investigate why a man stopped by state troopers for failing to signal a left turn, opened fire on them, and fled, shooting more than 20 people as he drove before being killed by officers outside a movie theater. This all happened yesterday in Midland and Odessa as this gunman was driving around. Those killed ranged in age from 15 to 57. The gunman used an AR-style weapon, according to the police chief there in Odessa, Michael Gerke. 2 law enforcement officials say the gunman has been identified as Seth Ator. Now, the officials spoke to the Associated Press. Records show that Ator was 36 years old. Authorities have no definitive answers yet about any kind of motive in Saturday's shooting spree, which left 22 other people injured, including 3 law enforcement officers. Now, the FBI Special Agent Christopher Combs said authorities do not believe there's any connection to terrorism right now. The shooting began Saturday afternoon with a traffic stop. It was a simple traffic stop on Interstate 20 when the gunfire was exchanged with police, setting off a chaotic rampage during which the suspect hijacked a mail carrier truck and fired at random as he drove into the area of Odessa and Midland. That mail carrier was also killed. Authorities say they're processing more than 15 scenes as part of this investigation. So this investigation is huge, and they've got a lot of area there to cover there in Midland, Odessa, and we'll have the latest from there. As I said, team coverage on this horrible story that happened in Midland, Odessa. A lot of thoughts and prayers going out to all the victims and that entire community from all of us here tonight. Another big story that we're covering tonight, Erica Lopez is checking the latest on Hurricane Dorian. Let's check in with Erica now. Hey, Erica.
All right, so all eyes on Hurricane Dorian still right now. A Category 5 hurricane, very dangerous, and I would say the most dangerous thing about this storm right now is the fact that it's only moving at 5 miles an hour. So winds are sustained right now at 185 miles an hour, gusts of up to 220 miles an hour. But because of the fact that it's moving so slow, that means areas that are right under the storm right now keep getting pounded by what would be EF5 tornado type of conditions. So here's a look at the islands that are currently being impacted by this, at least the worst of it. So now moving through Abaco Island and approaching the Grand Bahama Island. Here's the Grand Bahama Island. The island's kind of in the middle of both of those islands as of right now. So needless to say, very dangerous situation right now with life-threatening conditions at the moment. I want to give you a bigger picture and kind of zoom in to how dangerous this storm is right now. The eye beginning to approach the Grand Bahama Islands, and we've seen some impressive type of photos on social media today in between the eye, but needless to say, we're talking hurricane force conditions that are just going to be catastrophic for the northwestern parts of the Bahamas. Here's a big picture right now. It's about less than 200 miles east of West Palm Beach. So that's crazy to think of. And the fact that folks in Miami right now not under any type of alerts at the moment, because we still are expecting the storm to turn to a northwest movement within the next 24 hours. We have to keep a close eye on it until it does do so. Until then, we are dangerously close for this eye to potentially make landfall for coastal areas of Florida at the moment. So all eyes on the storm. Here's a look at what we know so far. It's still a Cat 5 hurricane, sustained winds 185 miles an hour, but gusts even stronger than that. And then coastal areas of Florida, Georgia, including the Carolinas, now even possibly including Virginia, and folks across the mid-Atlantic and further east will have to watch the progression of the storm as it continues to turn to the northwest. As of now, still a westerly movement, but I think within the next 24 hours it will take that northwesterly movement. And here are all the alerts in place right now. Hurricane watches, tropical storm watches in effect, as it is expected to be just off of the coast of Florida, the eye of the hurricane. But I want to remind you guys, this storm is several hundred miles wide. So we're still talking the potential for hurricane force winds for eastern coast parts of Florida. Dangerous storm surge will be intact also. We're still expecting it to be a Category 4 storm as it takes a north turn on Tuesday with sustained winds at about 145 miles an hour. More wind shear is what we're tracking, which is going to help tear the storm apart as we fast forward to Wednesday, and it will have a faster forward movement thanks to upper level steering currents. That's going to help push that storm quicker and also help break it down a little bit. So we're expecting a Category 2 storm, but still dangerously close to the coastal areas of South Carolina, and looks like by late Thursday, possibly into Friday, we're talking a Cat 1 impacting folks across the mid-Atlantic potentially. Okay, not only is there a hurricane, a major hurricane actually on record, the strongest hurricane we've had so far for the northwestern Bahamas, there's also a tropical wave I just want to mention right now in the southern Gulf of Mexico. It's not going to be a huge issue for us here in Houston, but it's still something that we're monitoring for this time of the year as we're in the midst of hurricane season, and it has about a 30% chance of development. So chances are not high that it's going to develop, but it is going to increase moisture for extreme south parts of Texas. We'll be monitoring it very, very closely. Unfortunately, it's going to stay south. Well, fortunately and unfortunately, depends how you look at it, because we could use the rain. We don't want any development, and we're not expecting any development at this time. The heat's going to be the big story for us here in Texas the next few days, though. Check this out. Upper 90s, and a matter of fact, very, very low rain chances. So this is not going to be good as a ridge of high pressure just expands. And guys, I'm thinking by Thursday, triple-digit temperatures are back in the forecast. This ridge of high pressure is going to bring drier conditions, but extreme heat, especially for the start of the month of September. So I'll be talking all about that coming up on KHOU at 10, and we'll have updates throughout tonight on KHOU.com on updates on Hurricane Dorian. Run.
All right, thank you so much, Erica Lopez. So that's the latest local weather and the latest on Dorian. Of course, we'll have much more on all that at 10 o'clock. We also have some big sports news today. If you're an Astros fan, it was a major milestone today. Our ace, Justin Verlander, had a no-hitter against the Blue Jays. The Astros won 2-0. This is the third no-hitter of Justin Verlander's career, so a big day for him up there in Canada. So we'll have much more on that tonight. Also, another sports story, U of H is taking on OU. They're at half right now. U of H is down 21-10, but, you know, go Cougs, go Cougs, being a Coug myself. So we'll have much more on this on Sports Extra tonight, so tune in for that. That'll be on at 10:30, right after the news. So you're up to date. If you want more information on all these stories, Dorian, the horrible tragedy there in Midland, Odessa, go to our website, KHOU.com. The most up-to-date information is right there. And if you haven't already, download the KHOU app for your phone, and you can set push alerts if you want to get notifications on major stories anytime you want. But that's going to do it for now. I'm Ron Trevino. I hope that you tune in tonight at 10 o'clock. I'll see you then.